Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we have some new stories from Reddit, and without further ado, let's get into it. Story number 1. AITA, my husband made himself a frozen meal for lunch and complained it was disgusting and threw it away. I felt bad and I offered to let him have one that I had been saving for myself, only to discover that what he had thrown away was my lunch. I then got upset at him and told me to pick a lane. So, every now and then I buy a random frozen meal to keep on hand for lunch emergencies. I had one in the freezer for a month. My husband saw it a few weeks ago and asked if that was his because he can't remember anything he buys or adds to the grocery list, and I said, no, that's mine. Fast forward to yesterday. I hear him nuking something in the kitchen, then he loudly declares it's absolutely disgusting, tosses it down the sink, and starts whining about not having lunch. I hadn't eaten that frozen meal and I did not think I would need it this week, so I thought, well, if I let him have it, he'll have something to eat and I'll just grab another one next time I'm at the store. I offer him the meal I was saving. He asks which one. I say the white bean chicken chili. He goes, that's what I just threw away. Cue my rage. Wait, you took my lunch without asking and then threw it away when you didn't like it? He says you wouldn't have liked it, it was completely different from chili. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's white bean chicken chili, it's not supposed to be like regular chili. That's why I bought it. His response? Well, it was disgusting. I said, you didn't even check what it was, didn't remember it was mine, and when you didn't like it, you threw it away instead of asking me about it. He goes, but you offered it to me. I reply, yeah, I offered it because I thought you had nothing else. But now that I know you just grabbed my meal without asking and didn't even eat it and threw it out instead and did not even ask if I wanted it when you decided you were not going to eat it, I'm a little pissed. He then got mad and started telling me I was setting him up, that no matter what he did he was wrong and I was being unreasonable. He told me to pick a lane. I tried to explain why I was mad and said, imagine you heard me complaining about something I recently bought and I decided I didn't like it, so I just threw it away. Then you have this gift card you've been saving for yourself and you say, you know, I was saving this for myself, but since you already spent your money on something you didn't like, you can have my gift card too. Buy something better. So I go, oh well, thanks, but I already used your gift card to buy the thing I didn't like and threw away. I saw it lying on the counter, so I just used it. My question is, AITA, because I got mad at him after I discovered he took my lunch and then threw it away, even though there was a brief moment where he appeared to have nothing to eat for lunch, so I offered him mine? Story number 2. AITA for not giving my coworker a ride after he didn't spot me $1 at the vending machine. I usually give my coworker a ride on the way back from work, usually driving 5 miles out of my way per day to drop him off at his place because he doesn't have a car. I've been doing that for about 2 years now and haven't asked for anything, and he has never offered. Yesterday, I was at the vending machine and wanted a soda. I was short $1 and had left my wallet in my car. I would usually go get my wallet, but it takes forever to wait for the elevators at my workplace, so I asked if he could spot me $1 for the soda. He straight up refused and said, just use your own money, man. I don't really give money to friends or coworkers, sorry. I was taken aback by that comment because I've probably spent well over $1,500 in gas over the past 2 years for this guy, and he can't even spot me $1 just this once? I got pretty upset by that, and once it hit 5, I told him I'm not giving him free rides anymore. He seemed upset and said I was petty. AITA? Story number 3. AITA for refusing to uproot my life and move home to care for my grandmother? My grandparents played a huge role in raising my brother and I, as well as my aunt's 2 kids. Between her kids, me, and my brother, my grandparents' house was a revolving door of children being dropped off while our parents worked full-time. As the oldest, I was expected to take on the most responsibility and became my grandmother's helper. My grandparents were verbally and emotionally abusive with no boundaries. I spent significant time in their home, constantly being ordered around and reminded how much I owed them. They lived in the house directly behind my dad's, so there was no escaping it. If they needed something, they called. If they wanted something done, I was expected to do it. At 22, I was exhausted and moved away. I've lived away from home for 8 years now, and recently I have been hearing about my grandparents' declining health. I was told my grandmother has dementia and my grandfather has limited time, but when I speak with them, they seem lucid. I've attempted to clarify their condition with my dad and brother, but I've been met with vague, passive-aggressive answers. I was recently laid off and called my aunt, who has a strong professional network, to see if she knew of any job openings. Her reply was harsh, I've got too much F*** stuff going on here to worry about you. I didn't ask her to worry about me, I asked if she knew anyone hiring. She then revealed the likely true reason she answered my call. My grandfather is in assisted living, and she, my brother, and cousins are juggling work and caregiving shifts for my grandmother, who apparently can't be left alone in the home anymore. anymore. This was news to me. She praised my brother and her daughter, comparing me negatively to them as always, then demanded I move home and become my grandmother's full-time caregiver because I'm currently unemployed. She said I had to give some to get some. When I politely declined, she blamed my refusal on my mother not raising me right, despite my grandparents essentially raising us all. My mother left when I was 6, and my grandparents undermined both she and my dad completely. They controlled everything about my upbringing, so I was essentially raised by the same people who raised my aunt. Now, I feel like my aunt is trying the same manipulation with me. When I pointed out that I have no medical training and suggested they hire a nurse, she dismissed it, claiming that due to short staffing, hiring a nurse wasn't an option. I know exactly what will happen if I agree. I'll be trapped indefinitely, sacrificing my life while everyone else continues normally. It's a black hole I refuse to enter. So Reddit, AITA for refusing to drop everything, move home, and become my grandmother's unpaid caregiver? Story number 4. AITA for asking my boyfriend's mom to call me by my actual name? I 30M have a name that, in English-speaking countries, is usually a gender-neutral nickname. Think Alex, Charlie, Frankie, etc. I am half Asian, and in the country of my name's origin, it's a unisex name that isn't short for anything. Since I first met my boyfriend's 46M mom, 70SF, she has repeatedly asked what my name is short for. I've told her it isn't short for anything and different languages just have different naming conventions, but she keeps asking anyway. She also makes other related comments that make me uncomfortable, asking where I'm really from, that it doesn't make sense for me to have a name from country A if I'm really from country B, that she hates the trend among young people of having gender-neutral names and I must have a proper name she can call me. I've talked to my boyfriend about it and he says he gets why it's uncomfortable but doesn't want to bring it up because she wouldn't understand. I've started clarifying what my name is and asking to leave it at that because I'm sick of answering the same questions every time. Last time we saw her, she greeted me by calling me a long version of my name, e.g. Alexis instead of Alex. I didn't say anything but my boyfriend laughed, assuming it was a joke. However, she continued to refer to me by this name, despite mine and my boyfriend's corrections, until I eventually snapped at her to stop. I'm usually polite in trying to divert these kinds of comments, but being referred to by a Western name really pissed me off, and I said something like, "Can you stop this bullshit with my name, please? I've had enough of it now and it's fucking racist." She got really upset, saying she couldn't believe I would speak to her like that. I left the table and my boyfriend shouted after me to come back and apologize, but I went outside to calm down. Eventually, my boyfriend came outside to tell me to apologize for swearing and calling her racist. I said I would apologize for swearing because I shouldn't have been disrespectful, but I wasn't going to apologize for calling what she said racist. He said she doesn't see it as a race thing and she just finds my name a little funny, so I told him to forget it. I was going to drive home and he could get an Uber by himself. I left by myself and he came home later. I apologized for leaving without him and he said he understands why I was upset, but I need to apologize to his mom because she's really hurt that I called her a racist. I said I hadn't called her a racist and that I wanted to apologize for swearing but didn't want to apologize for saying that what she said was racist because then she'll just keep doing it. However, I'm worried I'm wrong to be so stubborn because my distinction between saying something racist / being a racist feels kind of pedantic, and because she keeps phoning my boyfriend to tell him he shouldn't allow me to talk to his own mother like that. So, AITA? Story number 5. AITA for warning the girl my friend likes about his intentions. 18F, after struggling with making friends for the past few years, started hanging out with a new group. It was exciting and things were going great, especially with one friend who we'll call Josh. Josh was texting me and asked to spend some one-on-one time together, so we stayed out all night talking and it was a lot of fun. During the hangout, we'd gotten onto the subject of a girl in the group, Lucy, and how she very obviously had a thing for Josh. In my opinion, Lucy is one of the prettiest girls LV ever seen. She's sweet, funny, and overall really likable, so I was surprised when Josh said he wasn't interested in her. Josh told me she was just too clingy and made some comments about how she looked that I completely disagreed with but understood it was his opinion. I told Josh that he should make it abundantly clear to Lucy that he wasn't interested in her to avoid leading her on. Now is a good time to mention that Lucy is a few years younger than me and hasn't had her first real relationship yet. A week later, we all met up again, and this time Josh brought a girl, Chloe. For most of us, this was our first time meeting Chloe, but she seemed to really like Josh. We noticed them getting slightly touchy at the table and assumed Josh had taken a liking to her. I noticed Lucy seemingly upset and went over to check on her. She was upset about Josh and Chloe. As she got more emotional, I realized she was still under the impression that Josh liked her back and that they were going somewhere. This is when I asked Lucy what made her think that, and she'd told me that Josh had been telling her he liked her back and had ever her family the night prior. I was shocked and stupid, mentioned that he'd told me and our other friends that he didn't have feelings for Lucy. I told her to take it at face value as he might have been scared to admit it or hadn't realized yet since it was last Wednesday when he'd told me. Lucy then told me that the day he'd hung out with me he'd canceled on Lucy and told her he was busy with college. Lucy was visibly upset and I went to the bathroom with her to calm her down. I told her to clear it up with him but to be careful because, as she knew, Josh doesn't have the best track record with girls and had also been telling people he was still healing from his ex. That night, I was inundated with messages from Josh making it seem like LD ruined his chances with Lucy and asking me why I would tell her that he'd said that despite him never mentioning that he didn't want Lucy to know. It's been a week and no one has spoken to me and I can't help but feel like LVE ruined things. My intentions were good as I wanted to protect Lucy's feelings, but by doing that I've upset Josh, who I would have considered one of my close friends. So AITA for warning the girl my friend likes about his intentions. Thank you guys so much for watching and making to the end of the video. Don't forget to leave a like and comment down below what part was your favorite and what would you guys like to watch in future videos, and subscribe with notifications on. And again, thank you guys so much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.